of another person. We no longer feel as if we don't have all the information at our disposal. A lot of clarity have come into the picture, and I feel that you are accessing information, whereas before you might have felt like very stuck, uncertain, blindfolded, and bound up. Now you are freeing yourself from a position of bondage, okay? So this is overcoming a lot of adversity, overcoming indecisiveness and things like that in order to charge into this month of January full speed ahead. Whatever situation you were waiting on, like if you were waiting on some news, some communication and things like that, in order to, I feel like a lot of people were waiting on test results, a lot of people were waiting on callback or feedbacks or even performance review and things like that. All the information is flooding you this month, and I do sense it's going to allow you at least to have, to move on to this year and especially this month with a lot more certainty. This is indicative of the energy of somebody who is actually very proactive. They assess situation carefully, but once they make up their mind, they do charge in full speed ahead, okay? So that's what you're bringing to the table for January. The second house deals with your money, your financial situation, as well as your values. So, with the world in the reverse position, what I do feel is a little bit of a tight rein on your money. So, there is some financial restriction, first of all. And there might be something within your external environment that is preventing you from making money or making money to the extent that you want. I feel like some of you, your ninth house is really lit up, and that deals with education. So I feel like some of you might be either be in an environment where you're going to school full time, part time, and so you're not able to devote all your time to work, and as a result of it, your income might be a little bit restricted. And then for others of you, there might not be like opportunities wherever you are living. The opportunities in the field or in the so, for example, you might be in an area that is a little bit more economically depressed. So there might not be opportunities, or even the wage might be low. So you're not going to be able to max out your, earning potential. And then there are others that might be bogged down with responsibilities. So, for example, I feel studies, I feel children, household responsibilities, and things like that, where you are limited as to what shift you can work, how many hours you can work, and things like that. And then others, this is a card about restriction, so physically not having the mode of transportation in order to pursue that job that pays a lot more. Okay, so there are some external restrictions that's kind of like blocking your progress when it comes to financial earnings. As it relates to your values, with the world in the reverse position, our value system is it encompasses many, many, many things that we believe in. For example, with the world in the reverse, this is a kind of like an aversion for people who are closed-minded. So I do feel that a lot of you are coming into a environment where I feel like you are defending other people, and you are trying to expand your horizon, trying to expand your philosophical outlook as well. So I feel that, in terms of like encountering people who might be a little bit more, I want to say close-minded or narrow-minded or very, very judgmental, and they might not have valid reasons for why they behave the way that they do. I feel that you might be confronting these people, or you might be put in a position where you set the record straight for them. Okay? So that's just something to keep in mind about. It's also indicative of, trying to expand your philosophical outlook as well. So for those of you who are either trying to do this yourself, or you're going to encounter people who will challenge, um, who will challenge, like, who are afraid of change, afraid of, expansion. And so they're going to challenge this aspect of you. The third house deals with communication and siblings. I feel like a lot of you might be in an environment where you have a lot of siblings, like growing up, in a household where there might be a lot of people around. And I do feel like a crowded home is what it seems like to me. And the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse is a situation where there might have been a clutter home environment, like, growing up with a lot of siblings, your space is very cluttered, you don't have a lot of privacy. And what I'm also feeling is growing up in an environment where siblings share a common history, and there might be a little bit of financial lack overall in the household environment that you grew up in. Okay, so parents might have worked, but might have landed on hard times, and things were a little bit chaotic as it relates to siblings, like relationships with siblings. There might also have been some type of I want to say like estate planning, dividing up assets like inheritances and things like that between siblings. And it's coming up for this month mainly because I feel that things might not be resolved in a clean, swift manner that you'd hope for. Okay, as it relates to your communication, and I feel like one of the major challenge here for this month is to be very, very clear and directed when it comes to the way that you communicate. On the one hand, I feel like you have a lot of knowledge. You have, gone through life accumulating a lot of practical knowledge. So the suit of pentacles indicates practicality, right? Practical knowledge, knowing how to be resourceful, knowing how to take care of ourselves and things like that. And so I feel that you might come into this month talking about things in a more practical way. And what I mean by that is you're basing it off your own personal experience of what you have experienced and things like that. It might not pass I guess, the empirical test. So if somebody is saying like, oh, this is the way it is based on all of these studies that have been done, and they're speaking more from, like a empirical standpoint, from more of a scientific, observation type of a standpoint, and you're offering something a little bit more concrete, something a little bit more practical, and something based on your own personal experience, I feel like the ideologies might be clashing. So this is just something to be careful about, okay? It's also like forcing you to, understand things from other people's point of view, but also like maybe there's some legitimacy if, these studies have been replicated over and over again with different demographics, for example, then maybe there's some validity to those studies. So don't make assumptions based on your own personal experience, whatever that might be, because once again, we are dealing with a situation where I feel that we have to change our outlook in order to look at a situation holistically, not just from one person's point of view or one person's personal experience, okay? So in terms of your fourth house, we have here the Page of Pentacles. So the fourth house deals with your the family environment. So that can be the family that you grew up in, the childhood home, or the family that you are creating for yourself. And what I'm also feeling is, well, the fourth house also rules the mother, the maternal figure, okay? Excuse me. So with the Page of Pentacles, this is a card about somebody that, they work tirelessly, but for some reason, the money that comes through, it seems almost as if it's not enough, okay? So I feel for a lot of you, you might be currently living with a person like this. This is a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, a sun, moon, or rising. I'm getting a military vibe. You might be in the military. Somebody that you're involved with in the family unit right now, who you're living with, might have been involved in the military. So I'm getting like a very strong military vibe. Very somebody who's quite structured, who's very organized, who's very neat, and they're saying there's a space for everything. So I feel that a lot of tiny, like little expenditures here and there are devoted to the family, like buying things to decorate the house, and even like fixer upper type of projects that is going to be diverting your income, like that your income, your money that you're getting from paid employment is going to be diverted towards buying things for the house, necessary items, practical items for the house, as well as, maintenance, upkeep, repairs, and things like that coming through from the house environment. As it relates to the mother figure, this is somebody that is not, like we're talking about mother figures, so it's always going to be a female. And as it relates to your mother figure, your own mother, this is somebody who is actually very creative. I feel that she might have had like some creative projects that she was doing on the side to make money. She might have been someone who is more like very, very practical, possibly like I feel she didn't make a lot of money, and so the home environment that you grew up in, she was very, very careful about where money is spent and how resources are spent. And I feel that, if you are dealing with a mother like this, the way that she approach finances might also affect the way that you approach finances. So even though money is coming through, you are very cautious. You might be like quite, strict with spending. So everything is very regimented and things like that. So I feel that there is some carryover when it comes to spending habits from the mom to the Leo person that is watching this. And it's not bad or good, but it's basically telling you that money is coming through in abundance. But I feel that you are heavily affected based on how you grew up in the environment that you grew up in. It seemed almost as if there's constantly money and money is plentiful, but somebody is very, very cautious about not spending it on frivolous things. So a lot of the times you might feel that why can't we have luxury items, or even around Christmas time, or even around gift giving season, you might feel like you might have been shortchanged because you thought that the money wasn't there, but in fact it is. It's just the mother figure is very, very careful about not wasting money. And overall, it's not just a matter of money, it's also about like not wasting food, not wasting things, utilizing everything that we have rather than buying more. So I do feel there is this sense of like, on the one hand, you feel almost as if, oh, we grew up poor, but on the other hand, there was money going around, but it was just diverted towards, things of true value rather than frivolous things. So it's neither negative or positive, but I feel that it does influence the way that you spend money. On the other hand, a lot of you just literally might have a mother that is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, very nurturing, very caring, very, very, very reliable. And I feel that this is somebody that's good with arts and crafts, or might have some type of a arts and crafts situation where they're making money from it. Okay. Let me see if there is anything else. Okay, so in terms of the home that you're hoping you're creating for yourself, or the home that you're currently living in right now, the family unit that you're currently living in. With this card, it basically means fair contribution. So everybody's chipping in their fair share in order to fix things, in order to, buy nice things, decorate the house, and making a house a home. Because I feel like earth signs are very home oriented as well. So the next house deals with your fifth house, which is fun, recreation, and creativity. We do have here the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords, fives usually indicate conflict, okay? And in terms of the people that you are, going out having fun with, because, when in the mundane sense, the creativity, recreation, and in personal enjoyment comes from going out with friends and things like that. I feel like there might have been a recent conflict as it relates to this house. If you are socially dating, it also pops up in this house, in the fifth house, which indicates, trouble communicating with, or like having a little bit of conflict, strife with a person you are seeing or a person that you are dating. And this usually indicates where it's kind of like arguments escalating, and then people have no choice but to walk away. And this card alone, it indicates like an empty victory. It's sort of like going out, having a really, really good time, drinking a lot, and then the next day you're just like obliterated. Like you're hungover and you're in bed and you just feel like, oh, I shouldn't have done that the night before. So it's like a regret, sorrow as well associated with this card. And in terms of your creativity and recreation and things like that, if you have the gift passed through from mother side of the family for cooking, for I want to say arts and craft, if you are thinking about making it into like a self-employment type of an endeavor, they're saying the competition is quite fierce. So you're going to have to strategize about how you are going to be able to find a niche so that you can stand out from the crowd, okay? So that you don't end up with an empty victory. Does that make sense? So they're saying that, if you are thinking about making money in some capacity from a creative project or from some type of an innate talent that you have, and especially if it's an innate talent that your mother has also had, I feel that you want to like make it stand out some way, okay? So that you can make some money from it as well. In terms of your sixth house, this deals with health, work, and also your daily routine. I know it's not the most exciting, but daily routine, we do have here the Page of Cups. And this is a card about, like, it's usually like children. I do feel that there's a lot of little logistical stuff having to, having to expend a lot of time, a majority of your time, to take care of the little ones. And I feel like, crowded environment. And I also feel children, a lot of children in this spread, like the energy of the child. So you might be in an environment where there are many, many children, and you're going to have to take care of them on a daily basis. So that means, making sure they're fed, making sure they're bathed and clothed and ready for school, making lunches, and doing the logistical stuff when it comes to child rearing, parenting, and things like that. And in your work environment, you might have a person like this. This is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, very, very sweet person who wants to help. So somebody who's constantly either passing around food around the office. They come with food, is what it feels like to me. They're like, here, try this, have this piece of candy. So there is somebody really, really nice, very sweet, very likable in your work environment, and they're constantly asking for food or giving food, and I feel like they're on the giving end because they're very sweet. It basically indicates, harmony and friendship being made in a work environment. So I feel like you are really, really enjoying your work. And I feel that, no matter what your coworkers or what really makes you happy going to work. A lot of you might be in a healing profession as well, because with the cups energy, it indicates some type of spiritual renewal, so emotional spiritual renewal. So I feel like this might be indicative of being in a healing profession where you are going to have to be very delicate and very cautious about, people's physical state or even their emotional health, and you're doing something to uplift and to cheer up people. So it looks very positive. When it comes to your health overall, I feel that you are a little bit. I see like counting calories for many of you. So for whatever reason, I feel counting calories, and it led me to believe that some of you are just, watching what you eat. You're juicing more. You're taking more like implementing some type of a healthy diet, more fruits and vegetable intake, and especially, foods that have a lot of very, very high water content. So that led me to believe fruits, vegetables, even juicing them, okay? And so it's a more natural diet, and I feel that a lot of you are doing this for health reasons, maybe even trying to slim down, but doing it for health reasons. So it looks very, very positive. The home environment looks really good. Like your daily routine, your home environment looks like it's very stable, and it's making you very happy. Relationship sector rules the seventh house. So this is relationships and partnerships in romance, and also in work. Okay, so you might have a work partner, you might have a business partner, or you might have a love partner, and it deals with all both of those categories. So let me talk about your romantic partner. I keep seeing a big family here. This is a card about renewal. This is a card about new beginnings, and this is a card about, I feel like starting over. I feel like a lot of you are coming into the month of December, right? Single. So something might have happened in November where you're just like, okay, I'm not going to put my life on hold waiting on another person. I'm going to, go out there and strut my stuff and do my own thing. So I feel like you're coming into this month single. And for whatever reason, I feel that, this is bringing about new chapter. So basically, a lot of you are starting to date, and a lot of you are getting contact, communication from other people. And then for those of you who are, I want to say, In marriages or stable relationships, I definitely feel like a coming together communion. A lot of family gatherings, a lot of big, like, blended families coming together, and there's going to be a lot of healing and a lot of spiritual renewal. If you have been in a situation where you're like a step parent or somebody else is a step parent, and there might have been issues, problems, jealousies, and things like that from exes and things like that, the whole blended family is coming together in order to create a happy home. So it looks very, very positive, where there's going to be a lot of healing with the relationship partner if you are in a blended family. If you're just in a stable relationship overall, this is kind of like turning over a new leaf, turning over a new phase, and things really smoothing themselves out. Thorough communication, communication breakthrough, or even deciding on implementing some type of a major move together. Okay, so it looks very, very good. And I feel like, for those who are dating, for example, you might have like left some people behind. You might have just been like, okay, bye. You're not I guess like you're not going to be a good person to add into my life. And then on the other hand, I feel that new people will be coming in if that's the case. If you have been dating and there might have been, two people that you really thought would make the cut, but for whatever reason there might have been disputes, there might have been lack of responsibility on their end. I feel that you're letting them go and you're starting over. You're starting to